And so Roswell and I headed off together. We didn't get far, though, with Roswell eyeing off the stairs leading down to the basement. What's up?
Oh, nothing really. Just curious.
About?
Just the room downstairs. What the password could be and such. All the voices in my head telling me to go down there and take you with me.
If you sever the tendon, they can't struggle as much. Any guesses?
Not really. I've been thinking on it more and more. Have a notepad upstairs where I've brainstormed some ideas.
Based on zero data. I just write down random words, but also with random numbers mixed in. But I don't even know if that's the scheme they used. Like,
do we know how many characters it is?
No. As far as I know, we currently still have zero data whatsoever, besides the fact that it takes keyboard inputs. So it's like alphanumeric anything.
That's great for us.
We have no idea what the password is. The idea that he's brainstorming, I'm just like, are you going through like the family records? Did you find those? Are you like trying their like mother's maiden names? Like, what could you possibly like brainstorming? Like, next, I'm gonna try jelly beans. Okay. Just typing whatever's in front of you. Got it. What happened? What happened to waiting for the password off Benson?
Well, can't blame me for trying. I'm sure the thought has crossed your mind too. Yeah, the look he's giving us just makes me think he totally made up the fact that Benson would give us the password.
It is an especially, like, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be like pleased or friendly or content, but it kind of looks really just smug as shit. I think, especially with like the slightly raised eye, there's like a knowing smugness to it that's like a bit like, What I keep wondering is that, like, I figure that in this game, at some point you find out what the password is, and I can't help but wonder if, like, not only do you have the ability to come, like, presumably start the game over and type the password in earlier to change the story, but, like, does the story have a different impact if you type the password in at different points in the story? Because we've been able to, like, when we got the chance, when we saw we basically like mandatory had to see the door like on like the first day when we explored a bit, and then immediately then I was like, oh, this is a hook. So we're gonna get if we get the password later in the playthrough, we can then start the game over and put the password in now and like change the story essentially.
Yeah.
But what's weird to me is that they then let us revisit the door and try a password again later in the story, and I'm like, does that make the story branch differently if you enter the password later?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you could magically do the super secret password fix thing in, like, 999 or something, or Zero Escape, like, 10 minutes into the game starting, but there was also a hook for doing it halfway through the game, I'd be like, well, what's that one for? what are you aiming for by delaying the password usage, I wonder? Maybe.
Well, before we settle in for games, how about we try cracking that password?
Do we have to?
Yes. It's like our duty.
Specifically have a job to ruin this game for everyone preemptively, because the maze didn't go over very well, so...
Besides, this is just like a game, right? Games are meant to be beaten.
And my video games all have cheat codes, so... Got me there.
You head down. I'll just head up to my room real quick and grab that notebook.
Don't want me to wait up for you?
Honestly, I was hoping you could scope the place out and make sure Tyson wasn't around, just in case, you know?
Oh. Sure. No worries. See you in a bit.
What a dink.
This stresses me out. This fucked up friend dynamic that frankly we invited, but damn. I recognized the smell as soon as I went down. It was Tyson. That particular smell that accompanied him whenever he did a workout and then didn't shower after. I mean, isn't he doing? I guess so. It's just lingering, just consistently. He just leaves it, but he's gone. Based on the fact that I couldn't hear his grunting or the sound of the gym equipment moving, I figured I was down here by myself. Alrighty, let's see. The room remained, for the most part, unchanged. The device next to the door was still awaiting some form of entry, although I had no idea what it was looking for. Can't hurt to have a try while I wait, right? Not that I had to justify it to anyone else, I just wandered over the keypad.
I don't know. Paw pads? Red Bull gives you wings. That was a good one.
As soon as I hit enter, it beeped angrily at me before clearing the screen. Guess that was wrong? Okay. We're not gonna get it, and I wouldn't want to anyway, so... With no other ideas, I waited for Roswell to arrive. Funnily, it didn't take too long for Roswell to arrive, holding his notebook. I waited for him, and then funnily enough, he arrived. Okay.
Okay, let's see if anything I have works.
Think you might have something?
Maybe. I mean, doesn't hurt to try, right?
CG! It's the one on the store page.
So we had one with him
in
the shower, and now we have this one.
Yep. I wonder why he's up brainstorming with his notebook and using up paper when he could just type them in immediately if he just was here. Because like you could just burn through all your ideas in one go. Just screw it.
I guess it's a way to keep track of them.
Yeah, yeah, you can keep track of all the ones you tried so far if you're just gonna like brute force every possible guess. We spent the rest of the afternoon going through Roswell's notebook, trying passwords. This really seems like a one-person
Tell us which ones,
thing.
so we know not to try them ourselves.
Yeah. He only flicked through it briefly before starting his attempts. The notebook set down on the floor between his feet. I sat back as Roswell tried each one, taking a break between each to tell me where he got the idea for it. How fast Roswell was putting the passwords in, though, I didn't take him long to turn back, disappointed.
Well, that sucks.
Were you seriously expecting to just happen onto the password?
Well, no, but it would have been nice.
Why would it have been nice, Roswell?
Because then they can take all the nice stuff before what's-his-face can pull it all out before he gives them the password.
Like, is he just hoping to steal the prize preemptively from Orlando? Like, his own teammate? Like, not only is he currently in the winning team, but Roswell specifically planned this whole thing. Like, his whole point was to give his friends a fun game to play while they're here, to entertain them this month. And then immediately he's like, what if I completely undercut this by just disappointingly winning while everyone's asleep tonight? And then we have 26 more days to figure out what to do with because I destroyed my own game. It's like the guy. It feels akin to like when somebody really wants you to play fighting games with them and then just fucking crushes you every single time. You're like, all right, cool. Why did I come here?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah. I just don't understand his motivation. I'm so confused by. It makes it just more villain stuff. That's why he's the villain.
It is, yeah.
Like,
he's super sketchy.
How would it be nice? You're just destroying your own game.
Well, again, I think the idea that like Benson has the password and he's just like, you can take whatever you want out of it. Maybe he just thinks that we can get something better out of it before Benson's ready. Like, I don't know. He wants to get in there before Benson swipes the old copy of Earthbound out of there. Like,
he's just gonna like get in there early, take all the best stuff, and then cruelly just like let the game continue to unfold as if it was never opened, and we're just gonna like just let them believe they'll get a cool prize at the end, but we took all the really good stuff already, so fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the game?
Well, sure, but still.
No, you're gonna have to give me more than that. Uh-huh. Sure.
I'm out of ideas anyway. So I suppose we just weren't meant to open it, huh? Yeah, dude, no shit. No
What's the
reason why
point
there's
of
a
the whole
fucking
thing?
password door.
That's what
What are you
passwords are
talking about,
for.
dude?
Ah!
Fucking dingus.
I just even being questioned like, well, what about the game? He's like, yeah, sure, but still, you didn't say anything. Why are you doing this? You're ruining your own game. Doesn't look like it. The comment hung in the air before Roswell finally broke the silence.
I think I'm gonna go look for mushrooms in the forest.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is
Maybe
poor
if I can
behavior.
find anything good, I can give it to Orlando to cook up.
Not worried about getting lost?
Not going to happen. My nose will take me right to them if they're about. In worst case scenario, I'll just be able to smell dinner and come back.
Truffle pig. Really? Your nose is that good?
For mushrooms, at least. I don't think I'd be able to really track anything.
Huh. Well, good to know, I guess. If you have a runaway pizza, I know who to call.
So what are you planning on doing then? Wanna come with? Fuck no.
Nah, I might just see what the others are up to. Anyone else, really.
Just make sure you tell Orlando to keep a window open so I can smell my way home.
Sure. Sounds easy enough. Have you considered a compass?
Consider doing literally the opposite and don't let him come home.
It changes the ending. It changes the ending. Let's go.
Purposefully close the window Orlando opens.
Yeah, you just
intentionally.
preemptively strand the villain in the woods and he never finds his way back. And then just nothing happens at that point. You undid the timeline. We left the basement and returned to the foyer. Roswell waved goodbye and left out the back before I returned to my room. After spending the rest of the afternoon in my room, I figured I'd go see how dinner was shaping up.
Oh, afternoon, Dave.
That's not my name. Oh, Haas. Afternoon.
Been busy?
Nah, just took it easy after the maze. I mean, I could have probably done more with my afternoon, but I was tired. You have never done more with your afternoon. I don't believe you.
Had a bit of a cat nap, did we?
Something like that, at least. And that I watched someone type a lot of words into a wall and didn't help.
Did you come up with any leads towards more medallions? How exactly do you expect us to do that, buddy?
Yeah, what would... Based on what?
It's like, it's a very binary thing
look.
now. You either find the medallion or don't.
Yeah, they're just around. Unless you're gonna find like this weird map engraved on the bathroom wall that's like they hid them all here in these locations and they kept track of them all. Not really. We could maybe check the museum or whatever to find something, but if it were that easy, I don't think Benson would be asking us to find them.
Right. Well, I'm sure we'll hit another clue eventually. Preferably by just asking Benson where the next one is.
Yeah. I'm not convinced Benson's alive. We still haven't seen him. Haas and I wandered into the dining room, making small talk. It seemed the pair of us entered the room at the wrong time. Time for another friend fight.
Again.
What a good friend group you guys got.
Who do you put your money on this time? My money's on Sal.
I could take him. In a fight, right? In a fight, right? Sal was staring Dean down, but otherwise just grinding his teeth. Dean, meanwhile, looked as though he'd been sprung doing something he shouldn't have.
Unfortunately, crocodiles and alligators can't grind their teeth. I don't think their teeth touch each other. Their teeth are like...
Yeah, that seems like a struggle.
They're side by side. They're not...
Yeah.
They don't touch.
That seems true for the art, too. Tyson looked much the same, bored or fed up with something. This didn't seem to be the cause of whatever was going on this time. Orlando seemed flustered about something. The food was already on the table, so who knows what exactly had him acting this way. Do I want to know what's going on? Dean can't keep it in his pants again. No, well, sort of. But he didn't really try anything, honest.
What?
He's just being so horny all the time. Is he going after Orlando now? Like, all I asked was a simple question. Not my fault you guys took it out of context. I think that's what
context.
I think this is what people say right before they get fired from Fox News.
Yeah.
Sal took 2 steps closer to Dean, and Dean took 2 back. Hey, calm down. Not my fault. Not my fault. I was curious. Who else is gonna ask? Oh, what? Are we talking about like crocodile anatomy because he's a reptile? Did you just make a weird dick question? Is that what you're going for?
And I think he actually asked if we fucked while we were like in the maze or something because he likes us or whatever.
My God, Dean.
That's my guess.
Dean, what is your deal?
You can't just ask people that.
Yeah. Before I'd realized, I was throwing myself between Dean and Sal and Dean. Take me. I braced myself against Sal, trying to hold him back. He was heavy and probably could have just pushed me out of the way if he really wanted. But for the time being, it seemed to keep him from going any further. Dave.
Dave, move, please.
First, I want to know what he said. Then, if I feel like he deserves the punch, I'll step aside. Wait, what?
All right. He asked if Orlando had any balls.
Oh, I was right. What? Yeah, came out of nowhere, really. Don't you guys have sex ed? You're high school graduates.
Okay, to be clear though, sex ed in a furry universe, like an anatomical sex ed would be pretty. It would be a multi-year course.
Yeah, it would be an entire course, not like a one day weird day of middle school or whatever. But like, they're just all too old to be this like confused about basic anatomy questions.
Yeah.
It's I wonder if this is gonna be the ongoing theme, is everyone's gonna have like interspecies conflicts every dinner now, but it's like akin to like, I don't understand what a genus or a family is. Well, I don't know if you have balls or not. We're fighting over these now. That's the trend at the moment. Hey, no, that's not true. There was a reason. They're Dragon Balls. Yeah. I'm sure there was. There always is. Okay, well, do we know what the reason was? Yeah, I think so. I, put down the spaghetti on the table and then... You can't be serious. What? No, this is
That's like
stupid.
not even a funny. It's not even like a funny joke. It's just like dumb. Like it's like that's just bad. You're just stupid. It's not even offensive. It's just like that wasn't funny. Why? That would be cringe to say. That's a cringe joke, Dean.
No, I'm wondering if they even meant it as a joke. Is the joke that he was just asking for meatballs? And everyone thought he was saying something about lizards, and this is just a absurdly large-scale, like fist-flying misunderstanding. Like,
I mean, possibly, but what if it's also like racially coded in this universe, or like specially coded?
Speciesist, who's on first?
Yes, exactly.
Then I asked if he had any balls. I could hear Sal's teeth grinding the moment Dean started talking. I mean, sure, I was gonna ask about like sauce and stuff too eventually, but
that wasn't appropriate. Especially to Orlando.
he lost his balls in a coffee accident.
Oh, I think I'm picking up what they're putting down.
Is Orlando trans? Is that
That's
what
I
mean?
think is happening right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially to Orlando is a little weird because I would imagine that Sal would have the same anatomy question.
Yeah.
Sal was already flexing his knuckles, readying himself for a punch. Step aside.
Step aside
Oh
for
my
sure.
God. No!
Yeah, deck him.
I'd heard enough. Yeah, fair enough. Oh no! The moment I was clear, Sal's fist shot forward, collecting Dean square in the nose, and he went toppling backwards, stiff as a board. Ouch. Good friend group you guys got. Dean twitched slightly on the floor, blood dripping from his nose.
He had it coming. Hopefully he'll learn from this. Fuck yeah, Sal. Fucking,
Oh my God.
Fucking deck him, dude. Let's go.
Sal wandered over to his spot at the table and sat down, stoic, seemingly waiting for everyone else to sit down.
Sal is like immediately the king of this group. He's just so good. Just the best character so far.
Poor Dean. Hey, someone was gonna do it eventually. Shame it couldn't be me, because that felt good just watching it happen. You know, we could help him instead of just leaving him on the floor.
No.
Why would I do that? This keeps him quiet. This is a fucked up friend group. I looked down at Dean. He'd probably be fine after he took a few more moments to recover, which is what I say whenever anyone is any level of distress. Like, just give him a moment. He'll be over it. Rub some dirt on it. Or at least I hope so, given how no one else seemed to be rushing to his side. So I'll also do nothing and just watch.
Thinking of helping him up?
I didn't know you were here.
Haas is such a non-character so far that it's it just doesn't exist.
Had we introduced that he was in the room?
I don't know. I don't remember. He just fades into the background.
He just really startled me. Like, hey, I'm a mind reader. What are you up to? Well, just leaving here seems kind of rough, don't you think?
You're not wrong, but it'd be a good lesson for him.
He can hear you. What, to have a concussion? Well, you can't undo that now.
Well, that's at worst. He has a thick head, sometimes in both the literal and figurative ways.
You know, there wasn't really anything I could do to help. Besides, I made the choice to let Sal follow through. I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I swooped in and tried to patch him up now. Would you? Would you? Is that hypocritical? So I guess you're saying that the moment you let Sal follow through, you just now are obligated, just based on scruples, really, to never care about Dean's well-being. You're done with him. You wrote him off permanently, apparently. Ow. As if on cue, Dean started to writhe on the floor, clutching his face. Without even realizing it, Orlando guided me to my seat for dinner. How? Does he do hypno? Like, not that I didn't feel bad for Dean, but this wasn't the first time that this has happened. How much does this happen? We really buried the lead on this friend group's shit. What? With the excitement for the most part over, we sat down and began to eat. So, spaghetti. Yeah, I got carried away with my experimentation that I lost track of time. Good thing Sal came and found me.
Oh, where's Roswell?
He's looking for mushrooms.
Did he forget to come back?
Well, I don't think time's passed. Has it?
But dinner's over.
Starting, or at least, yeah. I don't know. He's out there scheming.
Yeah, he's waiting.
Well, honestly,
he's waiting to get us all killed.
If we hear that the next metal's in the woods, then that just means he's planting it right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Carbohydrates. They're good after a decent swim.
Really? I thought it was protein you wanted. Oh, that too. Basically, what you want to do is just eat. Regularly to survive. So, like, you know.
They've only just now discovered food, as we've already established, so it's kind of hard for them to remember all the different types.
That's why I made meatballs too. Otherwise, it would have just been a really basic tomato-based sauce. So we now have the answer. There is meatballs.
Can we establish why Benson isn't cooking like he was before?
Because Benson's dead.
Probably. Okay.
Benson died. We haven't seen Benson for 2 days now. We last saw him at the end of day 2 and had a weird feeling. And we've never seen him since. We've only heard secondhand that he's given clues.
Well, no, we saw him when he was like, you have to go back to your bedroom, because if you're not in your bedroom, something very bad will happen.
Yeah, that was day 2's night. Then day 3 was the day where we're like, we should do a scavenger hunt. And then through day 4 was this. It's like, we haven't seen him.
But I'm saying we have seen him since we had the bad feeling, because he was the person that gave us the bad feeling.
No, that's what I mean. That's why we haven't seen him since, because that was the scene where we had the bad feeling.
Yeah, but I'm saying it wasn't separate from him. He was very intentionally making us feel sketched out.
Yeah, that's just not really related to what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we saw him back on day 2 when the bad feeling happened, and we've never seen him since. It's been 2 days without seeing him now. So he's dead. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon until he shows up again. The fact that we keeps not showing up, and that Orlando's doing all the cooking, and we just hear from secondhand that there's clues supposedly.
I'm just curious why Orlando just so immediately was like, you know what, I'll cook. We won't even wait for the food that we were promised.
Orlando just loves cooking.
I'll just do it. It's just like, all right, dude, whatever.
Orlando likes
We were supposed
cooking.
to have like nice food. We were supposed to have really nice food. Dude, there was Sal here had never had fucking ice cream before.
I want spaghetti and meats. Gimme. Gimme. I haven't had spaghetti and meatballs in like years probably. Huh. Neat. So, I've been meaning to ask, but didn't think it was all that appropriate given what was going on but do you have balls? Where's Roswell? Oh, Roswell. 2 people are now dead. I'd run out the dining room into the backyard without really explaining what had happened. Rude? Where's Roswell? His eyes just go wide and he just runs out of the room. I left the baby in the oven. Ow, fuck. Oh, that's gonna fall over. Haas and Orlando had hurried along behind me and were now curious as to why I hadn't given Orlando a straight answer. As I would be. Why?
What are you doing, Dave?
Roswell, can you hear me? This was my fault. My carelessness had wound Roswell up in the forest along with whatever else called the woods its home. How? What? What? You don't have an active role in what he's doing at all. What were you supposed to... What?
Wait.
Is it because you genuinely didn't open the window?
Go back for a second. My carelessness had wound Roswell up in the forest.
And whatever else calls the wood its home.
So we, are not under the impression that anything else lives in the woods. So that's kind of weird.
I think it's just generic, like, oh, there could be wolves out there and stuff.
No, but didn't they establish that nothing lives in the ground? I thought they already said that. I thought they said something about the woods being, like, totally fine and safe.
Did they? I don't remember anything like that. I think it's just normal to be like, there could be bears.
Sure.
Everything I land on's a little iffy because there's like bear people and wolf people, but
I guess the sentence just tripped me up because my carelessness had wound Roswell up. I can't round someone else up in the forest unless I'm there rounding them up.
Yeah, wound. Like, Roswell wound up in the forest because of him, is what he's saying, which is confusing just because Roswell just chose to go there, and we did not have, like, a job to do or anything we were supposed to do here, really. So I'm just kind of...
But my carelessness can't wind someone else up into the forest. They just wound up there.
They did all on their own.
They just end up there.
What happened? Roswell was, Orlando shook me gently while Haas tried to peel him away.
Hey, maybe give him some breathing space to explain. Although, if I'm guessing right, I don't think I'm gonna like the explanation.
What? How bad does everyone think this is? He just walked out in the woods.
Yeah, this is like prime not that big of a problem.
Yeah, like everyone's a little too... Like, it makes me think something bad did happen just because it feels like...
The game is trying to make us panic.
Well, yeah, it feels like one of those moments where like the author knows they're writing a scene where something bad happened, and so everyone's now gonna like be reacting accordingly to the scene that's going to happen, but no one actually knows anything, and he just walked into the woods on purpose and was planning and had a plan.
And it hasn't even really been that long.
No.
Like we walked inside and food was like already ready. And
I'm just imagining Dave explaining the problem, and he's like, Roswell, he walked into the woods to look for mushrooms, and he's
literally 25 minutes ago.
And he's late coming back. Like, okay. Oh my God, the woods? Okay. Please, what happened, Dave? I tugged lightly at the fur, peering into the dark beyond the edge of the trees, hoping to catch a glimpse of Roswell to make this whole thing blow over. Roswell, he was going to spend the afternoon gathering mushrooms, so... Haas and Orlando looked at one another, all three of us now worried.
You haven't seen him since we got back inside, right?
Nope. And please say you have.
Negative. All right, well, for starters, Dave, I think you better stop tugging at your fur before you get patchy. Beyond that, hold on, let me check something.
He pulled out his phone, quickly tapping the screen before holding it up to his ear. We waited, and Haas's expression shifted his foot from focus back to worry when whoever was calling didn't pick up. He tried again, getting much the same result. Yeah, well, he's calling Roswell on his phone. Because everyone presumably has a cell phone, right? Yeah.
Hopefully his phone is just dead, or he left it inside, but...
I whined.
Well, I mean, like, when you get knife murdered, your phone doesn't just, like, stop receiving calls.
This is, I'm thinking about how, like, when you're watching an episode of Star Trek or something, and a normal thing happens, and then everyone acts really weird and scared about it, and then you're primed to think, oh, fuck. What's wrong with the setting? Like, what does that mean to them? Why is that a weird, unnerving thing to them? But I don't think there's, like, a reveal happening here, like, oh, we all secretly know the woods are bad or something, because it's just kind of odd. What do we do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we get Dean? Dean's already here. What's going on?
Where is Roswell?
Pointing towards the forest, too ashamed to say it out loud. Out there? Now? He isn't answering his phone, and calling out didn't do anything, so... Damn. Tracking him's probably going to be impossible with it being this dark. We'd only run the risk of getting lost ourselves, or getting injured in the process. But what if we had a convenient buddy system where... I hate to see it, but if Roswell's out there... Dean scratched his head, and I shrank into my shoulders a little more, my stomach tightening with worry. But if searching for him now was a bad idea, our hands were tied.
If Roswell is lost...
Sal looked directly at me, holding eye contact with his tone serious.
You better hope he's all right come morning.
How is it a me
We
thing?
are not responsible for this.
He just walked into the woods. Dinner was tense, and we ate in silence. With Roswell missing, maybe it was just his absence. Or if we were all collectively worried about if he was okay.
I don't like this. I think this is like manufactured, really weirdly manufactured drama. I'm curious if this will be rewritten in the rewrite, because this is like not an urgent feeling situation, especially with this music too. It just like is not communicating anything, and so the passage of time being really weird is like it's just a very strange mix.
The screenshots don't change, the photos don't change time of day, and so like the scene didn't really even sell that it was dark until the last line, I think.
Yeah,
like until they said, well, in this darkness we can't find him. Like, oh, it's dark out.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know it was dark out until then. I don't know if it said that anywhere.
It's just like, I am not convinced that anything bad has happened to him, and this is all just making everyone out to be like really aggro for no reason.
Yeah, it's just kind of undersold why we're supposed to be afraid. Like they need to sell better like how long it's been. Like maybe it should have been after dinner, but also like make a point of how dark it is, or even like, I don't know, hear something weird in the woods that make you worried, like something. But from our perspective, it does feel like he just walked off for 10 minutes, then everyone lost their shit. Like, you let him go in the woods? Don't you know? And like, it's like the village or something. Like, you don't even know about the monster in the woods we all know about? How could you fuck this? Like, it feels like we're missing something.
It's just weird too, because like, again, I can tell because I'm genre savvy that like the game pointing out like, don't worry guys, I can smell my way home. I'm gonna go alone into the dark woods and look for mushrooms. This is what I'm meant for. Leave a window open for me is like obviously signposting that something bad is gonna happen in the murder game visual novel, but like, I shouldn't have to rely on that knowledge to understand what's happening, especially when like we walk indoors. Literally the first scene is someone getting knocked out for being a dick, and then the second that the scene ends, it's like, where's Roswell? Oh no, he's dead. And it's like, it's been literally not even 50 lines of dialogue. Like we have clicked maybe 25 times.
Yeah.
What is going on?
We should be more
here?
worried about Dean, who got apparently knocked actually unconscious and only started reacting to the pain much later. Like, and
then immediately stood back up and was just a participating member of the next scene, like nothing had happened.
It's interesting. Writing is hard.
It is hard.
I'd be afraid to put anything I wrote in front of people because you'd be like, hang on a minute. Oh shit, no, this is working the way I meant for it to. But I don't know, maybe it's just us with this thing. But it's shit. I lost my train of thought a little bit. Because you talked about the structural thing. Oh yeah, it's for me. And I don't know that, like, I don't think this is the intended read maybe at this point, but I really thought that Roswell, maybe it will be the intended read, but then the reactions are still strange. But I thought the point was that Roswell was going out to plant the next medallion, and it was supposed to at this point be like so obvious to the reader how heavy-handed and not that sneaky he's being, that we're supposed to realize he's doing it. Like, it seemed like, oh, okay, there's gonna be a medallion in the forest tomorrow, and he mysteriously was gone for like 6 hours in the forest. Ooh, we'll never guess who put it there. And so like we as the reader are supposed to clue in that Roswell's like doing this series of puzzles for people. But now everyone's reaction being that strong makes me think that that's the point of the scene, is that that happened. Which I guess technically both could be true. He could have been planting the medallion and then got knife murdered or something. I don't know exactly. Maybe somebody dies every few days, and you can't do much about it. But then with the password, you can undo, like you can save Roswell by going all the way back to the beginning and using the password and so on.
Yeah. I mean, that's possible. It's weird. I don't know. I feel like it's a struggle where like I'm interested in what's going on, and like on the overall like structural level, I'm interested in seeing what this game does. Yes.
But it just needs like an editing pass for like a lot of it.
It
does. It's just like there's scenes that don't quite sell what they're supposed to, and lines that are just like they change tense mid sentence or something, and just kind of like need to be rewritten a bit.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's hard to. I think my thing is like I'm enjoying the context and I'm enjoying like the setup, and I want to see what it's gonna do, but it really seems to have a lot of trouble communicating and transitioning between its scenes. So like there are some scenes that work really well, and then other scenes that just like don't seem to convey what they're trying to convey. So it becomes very hard to tell exactly what we're meant to take from each scene, even though it's very obvious all of them are only there for like structural reasons. Like this scene is to get us to dinner time, or like this scene is to set up that the character is alone, you know, like it's just a really weird kind of, it's like it feels choppy as a result.
Yeah, I think there's things to learn from this just in general. It didn't take me long to get ready for bed, but my mind thought about Roswell stuck in the forest. I just don't think you need to externalize your mind, honestly. I looked out the window at the black sea of trees, hoping he was all right. And that he didn't hold it against me for forgetting. Forgetting what? What were you supposed to do? Like, what were you supposed to do? Shit.
I guess he was supposed to tell what's-his-face to open the window. I guess that's what happened, is he just forgot to open the window. Is
the window sincerely the actual crux of all this? Like literally,
I think so.
Because I even read like a joke when he said it, like, haha, leave a window open for me. Like, no, seriously,
no,
I will literally walk into the woods and die if you don't do that.
I think that was sincere, but the thing is that like this is what I'm talking about when I say the game's bad at communicating.
Is that they never reinforce that. They're never like, oh shit, the window, I forgot.
Yeah,
like it never comes up in the scene.
Like there
so
was
it makes me
time.
Think like,
there was no time in between when he told us to open the window, when we could have reasonably opened the window, because the immediate next scene was us walking indoors and everyone being there and food already being served to us.
Yeah.
So like,
what
they should have done is
he was supposed to come back for dinner.
Yes. So it just immediately made the time frame sound weird, because it's like, all right, at what point could I have intentionally forgotten to open the window if you don't give me a scene to communicate that I am choosing to do something different?
I was gonna try to go
and not open it.
I was gonna try to go back because like Haas said like, oh, he took a cat nap, huh? So it's like, was it trying to imply that we slept? But I feel like that didn't. The scene where we sleep didn't happen.
I had no idea that we had actually slept there. I thought he was just saying.
I thought we walked into the lobby and saw Haas from outside.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought as well.
And or not from outside, from the password room.
Yeah.
And so when he's like, oh, he took a cat nap, huh? He's like, yeah, something along those lines. I was like, are you equating you hanging out and watching him do passwords for a long time?
For 6 hours or whatever?
Because
I thought he was just like brushing him aside. Like
he just sat and did passwords for ages, and then he just left. And then immediately we saw the fight happening, and then it's like, oh, he's been gone for so long. And yeah, that's
exactly.
Yeah, there's no moment of realization of like, I forgot to open the window, so it doesn't reinforce it as being like a stakes thing. So
yeah, it wasn't our mistake.
With that not being set up as being a problem, it makes me think that like the mistake he made was that his responsibility was to like follow him into the woods 20 minutes later if he didn't come back and then get lost too. Like,
yeah,
the idea that's all on him is also just feeling strange. Yeah, I don't know.
It is. It's very weird. That being said, like, yeah, if they set up open the window and we didn't open the window, that's one thing. But you need to communicate the passage of time and a series of actions so that we can at least understand as an audience that the action we were signposted to look out for didn't happen, rather than just skipping past us forgetting to do it.
And what
and
window?
Then trying to say that time passed.
Like a window in the dining room? What window?
I assumed in the kitchen, like go open a window, and he said, tell Orlando to open a window so that we can smell dinner cooking. So I assume he just meant like open the kitchen
But he
window.
said that he couldn't track things, and he could only really find mushrooms, and there was no mushrooms in play in the kitchen. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna spend longer than the scene trying to parse what happened there. Let's see. I must have fell asleep soon after that because I don't remember really drifting off so much as just passing out. Huh? I was awake again, much earlier than I needed to be. I had been sleeping all right until I'd been awoken by something. Listening in the dark, I waited, wondering if what had awoken me would make itself known. Silence. Nothing but silence. Just waiting was stopping me from sleeping, and I was looking around the room in hopes that that'd change. When nothing happened, I got up, figuring maybe a glass of water would help. The house was dark. Still. The faint squeaks of the door to my room opened was all I could hear, followed by the sound of the same door closing behind me gently. Something was off with just how quiet the place was, as if every room was potentially soundproofed. Hello? Piercing the silence was the sound of footsteps, only a couple at first, then they hurried along without a vocal reply. Who's there? I strained my eyes in the dark and saw a silhouette disappearing into the dark corners of the level we were on. Then, from out of nowhere... You're up late. Oh, God, Ty, what the hell?
You're hot.
It's just a weird reaction to give somebody. They gave him a lot of bulge for his sweatpants. Like, the fact
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the fact that the waistband is bending upward, you're like, oh, I get it. Okay. I see what you see in him now. I shoved him gently, sighing out. What the hell yourself? What are you doing wandering around? Something woke me up. Something, huh? Well, yeah, I thought I heard... I guess you didn't hear anything? Nope, just out for a wander. Do you normally stay up this late? Pretty much. Always been a night person. Must be in my genes. You know what else is in my genes? Is it the moon thing? Moon thing? Oh, har har. Don't expect me to go howling anytime soon. Well,
what if he just like becomes a werewolf on the full moon? What if he just becomes huge and
he just
beefy?
looks down at his pants. It's starting.
It's starting. Oh no.
Well, it's not like I haven't heard you howling before. Bullshit. Dude, once a month, you howl loud. Sure you're not listening in on me to get... You sure you're not listening in on me getting some? Where? When? Where are you hearing him howl? Do you guys live near each other? Is he doing it at school?
I'm telling you, he just goes feral like once a month on the full moon.
Yeah, I'm just like, what context would he hear howling and know it's Tyson specifically? I'm just like wondering when and where that's happening. I really doubt it. Well, I'm going back to bed. I don't know about you, but standing out here is getting old. I guess we don't know. Was their school like did they go to a boarding school? Did they live at the school? I'm trying to parse how he ever hears him howl at night, apparently. Yeah, probably for the best. You sure you're gonna be able to sleep? Yeah, I suppose so. Good, because I'm not tucking you in. Jerk. Anyway, night. Yeah, no, Tyson, we know you don't tuck anything.
Yep, not
night,
at all.
Tyson. I watched Tyson disappear into the dark. Maybe it was Benson moving about. Maybe someone was sleepwalking? We established that this house is loud, so I would not be questioning a noise happening somewhere and being woken up.
Yeah.
After hearing Tyson enter his room, I went back to mine. There wasn't anyone else out here to talk to. But even then, I didn't sleep easy. It's still question mark path. That's interesting, right? We gained green fins for getting in Sal's route or whatever next to the day count, but that did not change the subtitle for the day.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if it really correlates with anything, or if it's just going to be like that the whole time.
Yeah. Maybe it's only useful for retroactively being able to tell what's happening once you have some sort of context, like 20 hours in. Yeah, now it's like, now I'm back on this route, because now that you're like have beaten the game once and gotten the bad ending or something, now you have to like try to navigate it. So being told what route you're in is helpful. But it's apparently not Sal. That's apparently not what it's telling me. Interesting. I really want to find. It's I know it's like it's easy, but it's doing it. It's doing that thing to me that like John Green's Looking for Alaska did. Have you read that?
No, I have not.
So Looking for Alaska is a book where instead of having chapter titles like normal, like numbered chapters or whatever, or just like a symbol or whatever, it says like 127 days before is the name of the, like would be like the name of a chapter, and then each chapter is counting down some number of days. And then midway through the book is a book that's just a black page that says in white text after. And when you talk about like the elements of like House of Leaves and stuff like that, these kind of like these metatextual sort of experiences of like what it's like to read a book, and how the book itself can be part of that experience. This is one of my first exposures to that, was just the fact that like that black page in Looking for Alaska is always visible whenever you're holding the book. You just see that there's a black page, and at some point, and I think this is intentional, you're probably going to flip to the black page preemptively out of curiosity and just see that it says after and wonder what the fuck that means. And that all the more highlights the fact that each chapter is called like 32 days before. You're like, what the fuck is it counting down to? And without spoiling anything, after that page, all the chapter titles are called this many days after. And like, that's an interesting, like much like what's happening here with those little countdowns and the route question mark. Like, it's just that it's a way of using the text that's outside of the actual text to make you more curious and drive you forward and wonder like, just what the hell's happening here? Like, what does that part of the text mean? Why is it that I gained Sal chevrons but I didn't gain Sal's route? What does that mean? What's the route then? So I'm just amused by that element, and I like it when even text that isn't going super into it, like House of Leaves, and is like almost overdoing it. I like that books that aren't that, even if they're not doing that, still like play with your expectations a bit and know that like this is a structured thing. It's like akin to like when Nier is like, okay, here's just black screen with text. And you're like, wait, the fuck? What are you doing?